Hi guys, welcome back to a reading vlog. It is officially February, which means it's basically romance month. We're going to be reading lots of romances, especially as a primarily romance reader. I'm very excited. I have tons of romance books specifically on my February TBR, so it's definitely time to get through some long-awaited romances, maybe some new releases, some ones that have been on my TBR for a while, series. We're hitting everything. So the book that I'm actually currently reading, which I literally just picked up today and started, is Reckless by Lauren Roberts. This is book 2 technically in the Powerless trilogy. I believe the third book comes out in April or in a couple months, so I definitely want to get through this one, that way I can be ready for when that book comes out. I'm literally only 20 pages in, like I started it earlier today, but so far pretty good. I actually really do like it. I'm enjoying it. It kicks off like right away, like there's action already. I feel like I remember what happened and they do a really good job of kind of just recapping, but like in a not so obvious way, so I am definitely enjoying this. The next book on my radar that I also want to start is Reckless by Elsie Silver. So yes, I have 2 books by the same title, but this is a romantasy and this is just a romance. So I do want to start this one too. This is book 4, yes, in the Chestnut Springs series. Trying to get through that, and I do want to annotate this book because I've annotated every single book in this series so far. So I just think it would be perfect if I could also annotate this one. That's why I have my highlighter and my marker here. So when I do start it, which I don't know if it'll be today or in the next few days, but you'll definitely see me start this because I am very excited. I know this is about Theo Silva and Winter, who is Summer's sister from the first book, and Theo is a bull rider, so it still is like a cowboy sort of romance. But I don't really know if this is like friends to lovers, enemies to lovers. I think it's gonna be enemies. Ooh, so it looks like Winter is free of a toxic marriage and has sworn off men entirely. So all she sees when she looks back at Theo is temptation served up with a heaping sight of heartbreak. The man is hard to trust, but it turns out even harder to resist. I'm actually very excited for this. I haven't read a book in this series in over maybe 2-3 months, so I'm definitely missing it and I cannot wait to dive back in. Hopefully we see some of our favorite characters from other books in this book. If you heard a loud ass sound in the background, it's because we actually just got an espresso maker and my boyfriend has been going off, fiance has been going off on making coffees the last like 72 hours, like just consistently making coffees, so we'll definitely be high on energy. Also, I remember I read Powerless from the Chestnut Springs series and then Powerless, the first book in this series, in the same month, so hopefully we're able to finish both of these in this video. But I'm gonna continue reading Reckless for now just because I already started it, and maybe I'll start this one either later tonight or tomorrow. We'll see when. Continue with Reckless. Later now and I'm in my bedroom still reading, but I'm 125 pages in now and honestly I'm really liking it. I feel like there's a lot of back and forth, a lot of tension, like it is keeping my attention, which is a positive. Obviously I want to be entertained and this is doing the job so far. I have heard criticisms that this book is kind of like it just goes on and on and on, and I haven't felt that, but again, only 125 pages in, so maybe a third of the way through and I'm not feeling that. I could see how this could kind of go into that territory if it just continues to be back and forth without like anything decisive happening. So I guess we'll kind of see, but I am enjoying it for now. I'm gonna probably keep reading a little bit. I just wanted to update you guys on where I'm at so far. I am enjoying like the romance aspect. Honestly, I feel like again there's a lot of tension, it's witty, they're going back and forth, lots of banter. I do like that this book, and I think all the books in this series, are very dialogue heavy because you really get to know the characters and you really just get a feel for like their relationship or lack thereof. So that's one thing that I'm really liking and very much noticing, is that there's a lot of talking going on and that is fun, and again keeps the attention, also makes you start getting invested in like their little relationships. Overall, I like the POVs that we're getting because we're getting Peyton, Kai, and some of Kit's as well, which I actually really like Kit as a character. I think he's multi-dimensional, complex, and kind of sad. Like, he has a sad story. Those are kind of my thoughts for now, but it's the next day, so bright and early, and like I mentioned, my boyfriend has been on a coffee kick, so he literally is just making coffee because he's trying to master his latte art. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. But he's like making coffees and making like milk latte art concoctions, and then he doesn't drink it because he's just continuously making it. So now I have this nice big jar of iced coffee with milk already, so I just threw some in a mug and heated it up, and I'm gonna have this and probably obviously some food for breakfast. But I wanted to let you guys know about Reckless. I took the dust cover off because it's just more comfortable to read this way, but I've made a good amount of progress in this. I'm on page 250, so I'm about maybe 60 or 70% through, and I am very much liking it. It is a lot more medium paced and a bit slower than the first book, and I feel like in the first book there was just so much happening with meeting our main characters, the trials, afterwards, like everything. So it was a lot more adventurous. This one is still adventurous in a sense, but we're mainly following our main characters on a journey. And I am really liking though their like relationship that they're building. I find it very flirty, very fun, witty. Like you can tell that they're kind of holding themselves back because of their circumstances. I do see how the criticisms of people saying that not much is happening is true because not much is happening. But regardless, like I still think it is a good book. Obviously, I still have maybe another 100 pages left to read, and then I can make a better kind of conclusion. But as of now, I am enjoying it. But I know I mentioned I was probably going to start Reckless, so that's what I'm hoping to do today. I do have it in my little book room over there, so I'm gonna have some coffee, maybe start that, start annotating a little bit, and then I'll catch you guys when I do that. I read about 20 pages of Reckless, the Elsie Silver book, but I'm gonna put it down for now just because I really just want to keep reading this one. And I'm just getting to a part where it's getting really tender and a little emotional, and I just know that I'm like waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like I know something's gonna happen because this has to set us up for the next book, and I'm kind of scared because I have no idea what to expect. Juicy. The only thing I will say is that probably my main complaint so far is that there is not nearly enough of Kit. Like I genuinely like Kit and I want to see more of him and his actions and what's going on with his side of the story. A journal? There's a journal. So I ended up finishing Reckless by Lauren Roberts, and I think I'm settling on like a 3.75 star. I actually really overall enjoyed it. I mean, I literally picked this up yesterday at work and I finished it today. So like almost exactly 24 hours, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, when you can read a book that fast, it kind of speaks for the quality of the book itself. I mean, in terms of plot wise, it is slower than the first book, but I still really liked the journey that we went on. I liked getting to know our two main characters a little bit more and just kind of seeing their relationship build. And then the ending definitely had me quite shocked. I feel like I saw it coming like right before it was like revealed, but it still was pretty shocking and it sets up the next book perfectly. So absolutely going to continue the series. Cannot wait for, I think it's called Powerful. Honestly, no idea what the third book is called, but I will be buying it and it comes out early April. So be on the lookout for that because I cannot wait to finish this series. I actually, yeah, really enjoyed it. 3.75 stars is a great rating. So finished that book and now I am on Reckless. I haven't picked it up since I started it earlier today. So I'm only 16 pages in. And I actually really already like it. I feel like I like Winter as a character. I feel like she's already very relatable as a girl who like put her career first and then obviously was blindsided by what her husband did to her and her sister, and is now just trying to make amends while also trying to kind of rehabilitate her own image but stay true to herself. So I think I'm gonna really enjoy this. Theo already looks and sounds like a heart stopper, so I cannot wait. I'm going to read this tonight. We'll see how far I get. I'm very much in a romance mood right now. Reckless definitely left me in a great mood. This one I'm already really enjoying. We'll see what I pick up next, but I'm gonna focus next on Reckless just because I think because I'm gonna be annotating it, it is gonna take me a bit longer to read. So we're gonna prioritize this one. And then today is actually release day for Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. So I'm not going to Barnes today. Hopefully this week, and I can take you guys with me and we can pick that up because that is on my February TBR. So that would be perfect to read in this video as well, and it's a new release, which is really exciting. I cannot wait for that one. It's giving steamy sports romance, and anything Ali Hazelwood touches turns to gold. I just love her comedy in her books. I feel like her characters are very witty, charismatic, and humorous, and I love that. So can't wait to read that. Those are kind of the books on my radar for now, but like I said, I'm gonna focus on this Reckless now, and hopefully I can finish both Reckless books in this video. That would be pretty funny. I also wanted to show you guys this bag of books that my friend actually let me borrow. These are all her books, but she's been meaning to let me borrow them, and then finally we got around to it. So let me show you guys real quick the books that she let me borrow. All right, I brought you guys a little bit closer. Sorry it's kind of dark, but it's kind of very like cloudy-ish outside, and it's already like 5:30 p.m. so there's not a lot of sunlight left. But book number one is The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I've read one book by this author. I think it was The House Across the Lake or something like that, and I did enjoy it. So I do want to pick this up or this one. She actually let me borrow two Riley Sager books. So there's Middle of the Night and The Only One Left. And then we also have the entire Harry Potter series, which I have mentioned before that I do want to read because I've never read it before and I absolutely wanted to borrow it from a friend versus buying it. So it's the whole series, which is really exciting. That's actually the rest of the books that are in here. The last like four are pretty chunky compared to these three, so they take up a lot of room, but I don't know if I'll be starting this. Yeah, I just don't know when because that's a big commitment, especially since I have them all. I feel like I would have to read them all like back to back to back, and I don't see that happening this month, so we'll see when I pick them up. But I'm very excited for these Riley Sager books. I haven't picked up one of his books in probably over a year now, so I'd like to see how I feel about them. I don't know which one I'm leaning more towards. I think I'll check out maybe some reviews and see which one's like more highly rated, or just read the back and see which one I'm leaning more towards. But that's kind of what's going on in my little bookish world. So let's go read this Reckless by Elsie Silver. Y'all, I fear I am obsessed with Theo. My favorite in the series thus far is Jasper from Powerless. Loved that book. Loved Jasper. But Theo, he is literally built different. Like, I've never read a man so confident, flirty. Like, I literally don't even know what to say. Like, yeah. I'm liking this book a lot, and I'm literally not that far into it. I'm still gonna try to work on it. I actually really am enjoying it, which I'm so happy. I feel like I can clearly just see Elsie Silver's like quality of writing increasing since Flawless, which is the first book in the series. I liked Flawless, didn't have issues with it. Heartless, same. Powerless is when I was really like, oh shoot, like this is a romance. And now Reckless, I'm loving it. I needed to let you guys know that I'm obsessed with Theo. Wait, because I am so confused about what's going on here. Something that I did not expect to happen is happening, and I don't know, I'm not liking the way people are dealing with things. I really didn't get very far. I'm only a little less than 100 pages in and I'm just like, what? Like, one, I didn't expect any of this to be happening, and two, I just don't like the way it's being handled. Obviously, I stopped like reading right away to come and share my thoughts, so I don't really know what's gonna happen, but at least this book is like having a lot of things happening already, which is a good thing, and I'm very interested and I'm really liking it, but I'm a little suspicious now and a little, I don't know, just wary. Continuing this little reading journey, and I'm almost done with Reckless. I literally have this much left. That makes me so irrationally angry. Anyway, I have only this much left, so I'm just gonna quickly finish this and then maybe talk about it and we can choose our next read. I don't even know what to say. That was really, really good. Like, Elsie Silver, man, I get the hype. Like, how can you not? This is so good. What's going through my mind right now is I don't know what I'm gonna rate it, although I feel very similarly as I did when I finished Powerless, which was a 5-star read. So I'm gonna sit on my feelings for a bit, maybe a day, maybe later today, I don't know, but Reckless is that girl. Winter, Theo, oh my gosh, like, I'm obsessed. I am so happy that I annotated this because I just can't wait to go back and read some of my favorite parts, some of the tension, the chemistry building, everything. It is just so good. This one definitely gives more cowgirl, cowboy romance, since Powerless is more of a ballerina and ice hockey sort of sports romance. So I really like that my two favorites from the series are like two different sports in a sense, and like two different vibes. Two different couples completely, because Powerless is kind of more childhood friends to lovers, whereas this one, I don't want to spoil anything, I guess it's kind of enemies to lovers in a sense, a little bit, like a touch of that, and that's not usually my favorite genre, but this is just really well done, and I'm just very happy that I read this. I felt like at points I'd be like, am I gonna get the ick? Am I gonna get anything? Like, I was waiting for me to be like, I know I don't love this book, but I never did. I just found it, you know, reasonable, very convincing, loved the relationship that they built. The side characters, this one, obviously, since it's so much later in the series, the family, it just literally warms your heart because you get to learn and love these characters, and they just all come together to be one happy little family, and I'm so happy. Now I cannot wait for Hopeless, which is the last book in this series on Beau, who is the last, what are their last names? The last brother, basically, and his, I know, is going to be very interesting because he's a brother who was in the military, and he actually like was taken as a hostage, so he came back and is dealing with a lot of trauma. Like, you can even just tell in the little bits and pieces we get of him in this book that he's gone through a lot, and I don't even know who his romance like partner is gonna be, so that book should be very interesting. But I don't want the series to end because I really was just, I'm so happy with it. Let's see what our next romance is gonna be. We are continuing the reading romances. Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna put this down, and obviously we kind of want to prioritize like our February TBR. So on the February TBR, I do have two other romances. We have Daydream by Hannah Grace and A Love Song for Ricky Wilde by Tia Williams, which I'm very excited to read both of these. I love that they're both giving purple. Like, that's so adorable. I feel like been waiting for Daydream longer just because, I don't know, I'm just super antsy and like ready to read this. So I think I want to go with Daydream, although I do still definitely want to prioritize this and read this month, just maybe not yet. So I think I'm going to go with Daydream by Hannah Grace, which is the third book in the Maple Hill series. And I've heard a lot of back and forth, I feel like, both pros and cons of this book, so I'm interested to see what I'm going to think of it. Let's just start Daydream by Hannah Grace, our third book for the week. The next day and I'm actually right outside of Barnes. I just pulled up because I'm here to pick up Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. It came out a few days ago and I definitely want to read that soon. It's on my February TBR, so I think if we can, we'll try to squeeze it into this video. So let's go pick it up. And I've seen like the edition that they have here and it's like sprayed edges. It's so pretty. Let's go see if they have it. Alrighty, time for a little update. So you guys saw that I purchased Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, which is on my February TBR, and I have since started it. I'm about 40%-ish through the book so far, and I am eating this up. I actually really like it. I feel like the more I read Ali Hazelwood, the more I realize that she's like one of my favorite romance authors. I just think I really like her writing. It's easy to read, it's digestible, it's believable. It's just all of the things, all the good things. So I'm very much enjoying this. With that being said, I got to about 100 pages of Daydream. Yeah, like almost exactly 110 pages, and I put this down for now just because I don't know, it's not hard to read, but it's just not giving me the vibes that like I've picked up automatically and already from Deep End. So yeah, I'm not gonna DNF it or anything. I'm just gonna, I think, switch to Deep End for now and maybe read this, finish this up before I go back to this. I also want to mention, I feel like the font is like really small. I don't know, I'm trying to, let me see if it compares to her other works. So oh yeah, I guess her fonts are just like this, and it just, not that it's like hard to read like eyesight wise, but like, I don't know, it just makes it feel longer than it already is. Like, and it's not a long book, but I don't know, maybe it's because I went from reading Reckless, which is in the Chestnut Springs series, and like the font here is like, I don't know if you guys can tell on camera, but it's pretty different. It looks not that bad, but like it just, when you went from one to the next, like you can really tell. So that's kind of what I'm currently reading. I thought I brought my Kindle with me in here, but I guess I don't have it. But I also wanted to mention, I keep forgetting that I'm like in the middle of reading Keeping 13, which is the second book in the Boys of Tommen series. And that one's also taking me probably over a month and a half now to like read and finish. I haven't finished it, and I don't know, I don't want to DNF it, but I'm just like not getting hooked. I'm only about 22% in, and every time I go to pick it up, I can only get through like a chapter or two before I like want to put it down, which is obviously not the best feeling. So I am still reading that book. I'm going to include it in this because it is a romance book, but I just can't seem to make any progress. Right now, my best luck is definitely Deep End, so I'm going to kind of focus on this one the most. And it is a new release, which is really exciting too. So I have already seen people talk fairly positively about this book, and I mean, honestly, that's like a trend with Ali Hazelwood. I feel like I've never really seen one of her books not be like loved, so I'm not surprised. But I am going to make my own opinions, form my own thoughts, and all of that good stuff. But so far, it's really good. Like, the tension is nice and slow, but it's there. It's like simmering. I love our main character. I love her best friend, which is honestly now a trend in Ali Hazelwood books. Her like side characters are just as not necessarily important, although they are kind of in this book because the side character like best friend role is pretty integral to the plot of the story. But usually they're just like really funny and like a nice little, I don't know, I just look forward to the side characters in Ali Hazelwood books because I just really tend to enjoy them. So yeah, very much liking this, and I'm gonna continue reading this for now. y'all. So I want to give, I think, the final update of this video. I ended up finishing up Deep End by Ali Hazelwood yesterday, and I rated it 4 stars. It was good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I think over anything, I think just Ali Hazelwood herself is such a comfort author for me that I will always pick up her books because I just genuinely like the basic structure. I usually love how she makes her side characters very funny, very lovable, and her main characters usually have some sort of very vulnerable, almost traumatic type background that they try to explore within themselves and with their partners. So yeah, and I found that in this book as well. I feel like I definitely have a lot more thoughts about this. I ended up rating it 4 stars, which is, again, very, very good, solid book. I would recommend it. It's not my favorite, I think. It might be. Something that I feel like just honestly stands out from her books are her male main characters are so green flag. Like, they're just so awesome. Like, that's probably my favorite part of all of her books. So definitely recommend if you haven't read it, and I definitely enjoyed it, so I'm glad I read it. And then still trying to get through this. I'm about 200 pages in and it's rough. Like, I don't know if it's me, if it's the book. I think it's the book. I just find it kind of choppy, very repetitive. I'm not convinced. I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. Still not, it's like 45% through the book, so I'm not even halfway there. So we'll see if that changes. But I would say so far, pretty successful reading week. I have read some great romances, some maybe not so great, but we're not done, so who knows. But I love February, love month, and I love romances just because they're so just feel good, comforting sometimes, and I just love love. So that's kind of where I'm at with things for now. Also, didn't make any progress with Keeping 13. That's still on my Kindle waiting to be read, and I just can't commit to it. I don't know why. Hopefully I'll finish it up this month. If not, I might have to DNF it because 3 months is kind of crazy. Yeah, if I don't finish that by the end of this month, it's getting DNF'd. That's kind of my recent updates with all my romance reads. That's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching and sticking around, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!